What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel and thanks so much for tuning in to a video that is going to be about a pretty major dupe. I recently made a video reviewing the new Color Icon palettes from Wet n Wild. This one in particular is called it gets me every time. There isn't a palette named something about sunshine. I'm just gonna annotate it somewhere around here. But in the comments of that video, one of you guys pointed out that this is a dupe for the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette. And honestly, I don't know how I didn't see this. My apologies for not talking about it in that video because I gotta tell ya, they're pretty close. Like I like to do with all of these dupe or dud videos, on one eye I am wearing the higher end product and on the other eye I am wearing the drugstore product, but I would love to hear from you, just based on looks, before I tell you which is which do you think is high end versus drugstore? I think this is these are close enough to where, honestly, I can't even tell the difference. So let me know, pause, take a second, comment down below in the comments, let me know what you think. Let's go ahead and get started. So this is kind of a first. As I think about what to say about each of these palettes, I think the explanation part of this video might actually be shorter than the intro to this video because there's not much else to say besides the fact that they are nearly identical. But for the fact that the Urban Decay palette does have more shadows than the Wet n Wild, it also comes with a brush, but it is also $49, whereas the Wet n Wild palette is, you know, $4.99, $5.99, depending on where you find it, if you get a deal on it, as you often can with drugstore products. The major difference is that the Wet n Wild does have a pretty interesting multi-chromatic shade right here. It's like a green antique gold sort of shimmer with flecks of almost teal or silver kind of in them. There's nothing in the Urban Decay Honey palette that comes even close to that, so that does set the Wet n Wild palette apart. But aside from that, just about every shadow in the Wet n Wild palette lines up pretty closely with the Honey palette, as you can see with the swatches. And yes, there are some shadows between the two palettes that you can see in the swatches don't line up exactly. However, to prove that they are still pretty functionally identical, I use them in my looks today. So now I feel like it's time for the big reveal. On the left side of my face, this is the Wet n Wild palette, and on the right is the Urban Decay palette. I feel like I personally can't even tell a difference. If you don't have the Urban Decay Honey palette, you really like the color story of the gold speaks to you, but you just don't want to shell out that kind of cash. Yeah, I would say you can and should go for the Wet n Wild palette. It's like an abbreviated version of the Honey, plus it gives you that fun, sparkly, you know, complex shade up there in the top row. So, short, to the point, we have some dupes on our hands. Thank you so much to the person who pointed that out to me. I really hope this video was helpful in case, like me, any of you guys didn't realize these were pretty close palettes. Please let me know what you think down in the comments below. And besides that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.